Alright, and hello everybody, I'm the Super27 and welcome to another Dokkan battle video. So we have some news live in the game, which is super exciting, which is primarily this. So obviously this is like the information going about that we're getting TEQ MUI in the game. The period is starting later tonight. So this means that the banners will likely drop at anywhere from 2 to 4:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Meaning that we're going to be getting TEQ MUI and Dispo within the next, I'm recording this the day that you guys are seeing this at 2 p.m. So it won't be very long from now. Again, like 12 hours from now, these guys could potentially be live in the game, which is super good. Again, it's going to be a little bit busy that they're throwing in a lot of the TANABATA celebration in tandem with the ending of the 9th anniversary. But I feel like that is ultimately like very good, because that means we'll also be getting stuff like, it's already been confirmed that we will be getting these two EZAs as well as Jiren on the 8th, which is in just 4 days from now. And with the celebration, that means we'll probably also get this free-to-play hit, these couple of free-to-play EZAs, and these sub-EZAs, which are actually all pretty powerful. Like, this guy is a pretty decent unit. This is actually probably the best of the batch. He's just a really good tournament participant and Universe 7 dodging unit who can do, like, really comparable damage. He'll be a very fun unit. I feel like Skinny Boo definitely got the love that he deserves. This 18, apparently, is actually quite good. I don't know a whole lot about what the 17 does, but I do know a lot of people have been rampaging, at least about these three. Now, I'm pretty sure that this guy just, like, does guard and a lot of damage, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, that's what it kind of looks like. So, looking at this, obviously, not everything has been revealed, but the big thing is that the Supreme Magnificent Battle Universal Survival Saga, it has been confirmed. So, we're going to go over here to the JP side of things. We're going to have to scroll down quite a bit. It's over here somewhere. Let's see if I can't find this in a reasonable amount of time. Here we go. So, we'll be getting the first couple of stages of this. I think we get the first 4, if I'm not wrong. Yes, we will be getting the first 4. And within this batch, immediately we're going to be already getting like a new stage of power creep. So this stage right here is, again, we'll be getting it later tonight. Now, if I'm not wrong, because I haven't been playing too much Dokkan since, like, I just got my phone back. I did a couple of EZAs, grinding them up so that I can go back to making some gameplay footage. I don't know if I formally announced it over here on the YouTube yet, but I did actually get my Dokkan account back. So my plan is to probably go live sometime this week, grind up just a bunch of content, and then I might do 2 gameplay uploads a day, one at 12:30, one at 5:30. So you guys might get spoiled with some dual uploads for the next little bit. That won't be like a usual thing, but that's just because obviously I wasn't able to do as much gameplay footage, so that'll be just me kind of catching up. But if I'm not wrong, this event isn't currently live in the game, but for a period of time, this and the Gogeta fight were like tied for the most difficult event over on the JP side of things for a very long time. So, I mean, we're looking at a stage like this, like 300 million HP. He has a super tech that he can do turn 1, which is 2.5. He has these really weird abilities where he can debuff himself, or debuff you, increase his own stats. You can't really debuff him until later into the fight. And then he has probably the most devastating super attack effect in the game once he gets to, like, this final phase, where he's increasing his stats substantially, debuffing you, on top of doing a 2.2, I mean, getting 80% on this. He's rocking close to a 5 million super attack once you get deep into that fight. And the thing is with that is you can kind of stall him. Like, he has a very hard start of the fight, but again, you can kind of like power your way through it, and then once you get towards the end, you're able to keep him stunned and sealed locked. The problem with this fight is you can't do that. So even once you get to, like, Vegeta, I mean, in tandem, they have slightly less HP. Their super attack effects are slightly less devastating, but if you're looking at this, like, Vegeta, he's getting 50% on his super attack here, so he's almost at a 4 million super attack, which is, again, that is quite devastating. He has the dodge nullification ability, meaning that, obviously, like, the purpose of this fight is, like, to further incentivize you to summon for TEQ MUI, which I don't know if global players should or should not do. I'm really having, like, a hard time kind of wrapping my head around this. Because, like, obviously, yeah, we did just get Beast, who I think is definitively still #1 in the game. Even with everything TEQ MUI offers, I do still think what this unit provides is slightly more valuable. But seeing as we just went from the biggest celebration in the year to one of the best units in the game, and we're about to go into Worldwide, there's only so many stones players can have, and I think it would be more important to get Beast than it would be for MUI. But these events are specifically designed for TEQ MUI to thrive and other units to kind of struggle. And, I mean, I feel like they always do that with TANABATA. They always drop a new event. Like last year, we had the Full Power Super Saiyan 4 Goku, who was definitively the best unit to go up against the, Stage 8 of the Shadow Dragon event, that being Omega Shenron. Like, he was definitively, like, designed for it. Because obviously in that first phase, everything but int units did less damage. He had the type advantage. He tacked slot 1 like a billion times, so you were able to go into Oob during the SDR phase. And then by the time that you got to the int final phase, you were able to transform into full power. That's when he had his guaranteed guard, and he could do the most amount of damage possible on all of those turns. He was specifically designed for it. And then looking at this TANABATA celebration, there are 2 big bosses, one of which that we'll be getting presumably in 2 weeks, being this one that has yet another dodge nullifying phase, which again, it just further incentivizes you to summon for this character right here. Now, if we're actually looking at this, he's not in the data yet, so there must be a data download some point tonight to add him into the game, unless there already was one. But normally, as soon as something gets added to the data, the Dokkan Wiki is very, very good about adding that info in immediately. So I guess we can see, that's why I'm a little bit curious as to how this whole thing is working, seeing as, none of this is in the game. Like, none of the free-to-plays have been announced. Nothing. If, again, we're looking at the page. I mean, obviously, the things that have been announced, which were the EZAs, they're on the page right here. We can look at it. We can see that these have already been confirmed, therefore they are here. But obviously, TEQ MUI, Dispo, all the sub-EZAs, all the free-to-play units, all the free-to-play EZAs and Awakenings, none of those have been announced yet. So there has to be some sort of data download or something later tonight, right before the banners go live. We shall see. But yeah, looking at this is going to be pretty good. The first 4 stages are hard, especially since, again, like the SSBE stage is probably the hardest fight that we're going to have on Global. I think it will eclipse what Cell Max is capable of doing, because it's Cell Max, but you don't have any gimmicks. You're not able to stun him, you're not able to seal him, you're not able to debuff him, you're not able to do any of the things. And then on top of that, he does also have the dodge nullifying power. So characters like AGL MUI, or even more niche options like Side Banner Chilai won't really be able to be used, so that will be certainly a little bit tricky, and then we'll get into even more powerful stages. I don't really think us global players are entirely ready for the Golden Frieza and 17 stage of the final fight, the Goku and Frieza fight. I don't know if we're entirely ready, just because we don't have nearly as much time to build up a Universal Survival Saga team, because if you really do go like balls to the wall deep, summoning for MUI, I mean, we'll be getting we'll be getting Topo in a week. So I know that we're about to get some really powerful options for Universal Survival Saga and tournament participants, but again, that's right before Worldwide. I don't know if I would really encourage people to summon for this, because maybe the units we'll get during Worldwide will also be able to help destroy this. Again, I really do think if you're going to summon at all, get your copy of Beast and then stop. I don't know. I mean, maybe if you have like a couple stones, you could throw a few multis, or maybe there's some really good discounts. I don't know. I feel like they have to give some like really freaking awesome discounts or some good tickets or something to like help incentivize people to like really want to summon for MUI. Because again, MUI is good. I don't want to like undersell the character, but his base form, it's just fine. And then once you transform, yeah, you have your guaranteed dodge turn. Yes, you have the counters. Yes, you have the domain for 3 turns, which makes all your units able to dodge, nullifying that enemy ability. He does have like that very powerful niche use ability. But what are we going to do when we get past this meta? Like, what if the Worldwide Download Celebration doesn't have a single boss that doesn't do the dodge nullifying? Then you're only going to be really using MUI for a stage like this. I mean, it could be a long time before we see another dodge nullifying boss, because we really didn't see too many. I mean, obviously there was the Blue Kaioken Goku in the earlier stages of the Supreme Magnificent Battle, but that stage really isn't like too hard unless you're trying to do the extreme class mission where you're using one of every type. That is pretty tricky, not being able to dodge with that, but that's just because villains are naturally in a much weaker spot than superclass characters are. So I don't know. I mean, I understand he probably does have a much more powerful ability, giving all of your units the capability to dodge, but I don't see that this being a precedent. I really don't think having the dodge nullifying is going to be something we're going to see a lot moving forward, potentially for a while. Because, like, if you think about it, last year we were in an AoE meta. We had so many AoE fights, but looking at this year, we only have one, if I'm not wrong, which is the Super Buu and the Majin Buu Red Zone, which is stage 2. I mean, yeah, that's an AoE super. That's a 1.5 AoE super that you could enter that on turn 3, turn 4, and not be prepared for it. I mean, that is true. That is something that could happen. But we really haven't seen too many AoE fights. And then, like, the year before that, it was like, obviously that was the new introduction of Red Zone, and that's when, like, the kind of gimmick of the year was just introducing bosses that did well more damage than we would be able to tank. And I guess you could kind of say that as well, because, like, no character in the game can really tank this super when this ability is activated. So I don't know, but it feels like they're kind of leaning much more so into all these bosses having different gimmicks. And again, the Worldwide could literally bring anything. Like, Worldwide could bring the fact that none of your characters can have damage reduction, or guard gets nullified. Imagine that. Imagine a boss who, like, takes away our ability to have guard. And then we need a new unit who can let your units use guard. I mean, that could be, like, the new difficult thing that we go. Or we could be entering, like, a new AoE meta. Or we could be entering a meta where you want to have the ability to have the Sense of Being effect mid-turn, like the Yajirobe Sense of Being effect, because we could be entering a boss that just locks every single turn, and there's nothing you can do about it. Guaranteeing locking slot 1 could be something that could be really problematic. So I don't know. Again, I feel like for these fights, they are specifically designed for TEQ MUI, which, I mean, that makes you want to summon for them, because these are the brand new hardest fights in the game. But we do have other units that can be comparable in there. Like, I feel like the Gammas should be able to do decent in here as long as they don't get locked. Broly can do pretty well in a lot of these fights. Beast can do pretty well in these fights. Gogeta can do well in these fights, except for the ones that nullify dodge. So I don't know. Let me know if you think that summoning for TEQ MUI is a good decision or not, because it is a long time before he returns. Because if I'm not wrong, someone corrected on me in one of my comment sections when this unit would return TANABATA, and I can't remember. I know it's close to a year for them to return. Someone, I think it was Sunday, someone told me that's when they return. I don't know if that is correct. I think it was Sunday that they told me, so I mean, that would be almost a year. I mean, not almost a year, but you know what I'm saying. It would be several months. It's a long turnaround before TEQ MUI would return, but potentially, I mean, again, I feel like Worldwide is going to be a little bit more valuable, so I would say maybe unless the summons, unless, like, MUI is your favorite character ever, unless defeating these missions specifically are, like, something that you have to do, I think maybe saving your stones for Worldwide would be the smarter option, or if you haven't gotten a copy of Beast yet, get a copy of Beast, because I feel like Beast will definitely outage MUI in every way, shape, and form, because he's just so dominant for 5 turns, whereas if you're not dodging, or if you're not doing this, that, or the other with UI, you can definitely get caught. And there's also a burst mode here that is up against... What stage is this up against? Is this the Jiren burst mode? I think. The following treasures can be exchanged. Android 17 theme, Frieza's theme, map 13. I think this might be the Jiren Red Zone, the Jiren Dokkan event. I'm not entirely sure, but... So these will all be dropping tonight, and again, within 4 days, we can see that those EZAs for those LRs will be dropping. I can assume that we'll be getting, like, the free-to-play hit, the free-to-play awakenings, and EZAs, and then the side banner EZAs. They might actually be with the Topo celebration, because again, I believe we'll get Topo in a week, on the 12th. So maybe they can spread out some of this, because the Topo celebration, there's literally nothing in there that Global has not already gotten. And then during the 3rd week of August, there's a chance that we will actually be getting Jiren, AGL Jiren. So... I don't know, this is going to be a very crowded month. I might do a couple more of these little, like, news update things, kind of catching you guys up and giving my opinions and my thoughts on what I think global players should be doing. As of right now, I would say probably just save your stones, do these events. They will be a lot harder without the brand new unit, but that's because the brand new unit... I don't know if I feel like the fights were built around the unit and not the other way around. So obviously they, like, designed MUI and they're like, alright, now how can we make this game really difficult so that you'll need UI? Oh, well, you need dodge nullifying. So I don't know. Let me... No, but yeah, let me know what you think. Are you going to be summoning for TEQ MUI? Are you excited for TEQ MUI to be in the game, or are you a little bit overwhelmed? I know personally I'm a little bit overwhelmed, but that's because I haven't been able to play for the past 2-3 weeks. So I have content I gotta catch up with, and now there's just dropping this right on my plate. So there's a lot of stuff that I have not been able to do. I haven't been able to summon yet. I've literally just done, like, the EZA events and all that other stuff. So... that will be all for this time, guys. I'm the Sweeper27. I'm a variety Twitch streamer and an up-and-coming PNG YouTuber trying to make it big in the world. I have a Twitter, a Twitch, a TikTok, and a YouTube, the links to which can all be found in the description of this video. And while you're down there, don't forget to like, subscribe, share me around, and leave me a comment, positive, negative, or indifferent. I would love just any sort of interaction I can get from y'all, but that'll be all for now. So, as always, I've been the Sweeper27, and I am signing off.